Hey you guys, Steve Whipple, that's me for WHIPFIT, and kind of not really a meditation per se, but like some maybe helpful information that will lead to meditation. Stay with me on this one, okay? So I generally operate on our orchids are dead. Does anyone know how to keep orchids alive? I mean, these lasted for a while, but now they're just not alive. So, where was I? The general way I operate is day to day, get up and try to do good, but also in the process do no harm. You know, there's a difference in just going out in the world and doing good, aka what's good for you. But then I think there's a difference when you go out into the world and do good slash cause no harm in doing what that good is. Because what's good for you can harm someone else. So I'm always trying to be aware of a general sense of good for everyone. With that being said, I also am a human who has moods and feelings and sinus infections and days where things get in my way and hamper me trying to do what I'm trying to do, because it happens for all of us, because that's life, right? So I had this span of maybe 24 hours, not even, where I lost it 3 separate times in a span of 24 hours. And some of it, I'm almost certain, was self-created. Because, when you have a snowball that's rolling down the hill or whatever, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that same snowball is the same essence as what started up the hill. It just came down and got bigger. So if you're trying to retrace said snowball, you have to go back up the hill and see what started that avalanche, if you will. And usually the avalanche is right there, here. So I work at a restaurant here on Oahu, and I like it very much, and I like the people I work with, and it's fun. And I grew up in a restaurant family, so I understand the restaurant business. I have never in my life not gotten some sort of tip, because I do try to provide good service, be a good person, and do no harm, right? With that said, I had a woman who clearly did not operate in my train of thought, and even after doing what I thought was really good service for her and her family, when she left, I asked her if she needed change, and trust me, it took everything I had, and it may have been tight-lipped, and it may not have been sincere, but it took everything I had to say, "Thank you very much and have a nice day." That's Luella. "Do you need change?" And she said, and I thought it was odd how she responded, "No, it's all yours." And it was all mine because she didn't leave me a tip. Not only did she not leave me a tip, her bill was $60.21. She stiffed me 21 cents. So I was livid. I had no namaste, I had no self-awareness, I had none of the things that I talk about trying to have. I had none of them. And I left, and I was angry, and I was mad, and I thought very bad thoughts about things that could happen to her. Because I'm human and I'm real, and I don't pretend that I'm flawless. I'm far from that. And then I thought I got over it. I didn't really. I just went to bed, right? So the next morning I get up and I go to take out Isabel and Luella, and I'm walking down the street, and if you know anything about my dog, my Great Dane Isabel, you know she is the most gentle, harmless creature in the world. Now Luella, she's harmless, she's deaf, she's a spaz because she's a puppy, but no threat, right? We have a angry See, I'm giving him attributes. We have an older gentleman next door that through a few interactions where he's had opportunities to say hello to us, he has chosen not to, and a few other things have led me to believe he is either angry or lonely or something. But he clearly is not wanting to engage with us. And it's 5:30 in the morning when I took them out. Isabel walked up to him, and I hear him lose it. Now, as he's kind of losing it, Isabel's just standing there. And Luella, who is deaf, he's yelling at to, "Don't you even think about it." I'm not sure thinking about what, peeing or something. Even they had just done that, so that wasn't going to happen. So nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. And I was like, because again, when you are expecting like a logical response to something, aka Isabel, and that response is always love and affection and adoration, kindness, whatever. When I don't get it, I don't know how to respond. And he responded in such a big negative way to them that, it's my dog. You don't yell at someone's child for that same reason. And I could have chosen a lot of things to say, but what I chose to say was, "You are a horrible person, give me a break." Because they did nothing. Now, is that being my best self? I don't know. I wanted to say far worse things and did not, so maybe it was. And then we kept walking. The awesome thing was the neighbor down the road was out on the road as well and came out and gave Isabel love. And the other man who had just yelled at her saw that, and I hope he regretted it. I do. So whatever. So that's the next morning. Fine, I shake that off, and I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? The third thing happened when we go to the beach, and we like this one beach, and we like it because from our experience, all the dogs on that beach are, one, really nice, and they're all off their leash. So you walk down to a certain point, and it's just dogs off their leash running in the water with their owners. And the ones that are off their leash because they're really good. And Isabel is the prime example of that. We don't bring Luella because French Bulldogs don't do really well. In heat, they get overheated. So we just don't bring her. So it's our time with Iz. We're leaving the beach. We're walking off the beach, and Isabel saw another dog. And just walked up to it. It went in its direction, not even up to it. And the owner of the other dog lost it. He started yelling at us. His dog started freaking out. And he told us we need to put Isabel on a leash. And then he went to either push or shoo Isabel away. And I was not having it. And he was loud, and I was loud back. I'm from New York. And I was like, your dog is the one who did something. Our dog has done nothing. And he said something else, whatever. And we walked off. So, as we're walking to the car, I am now officially like mind blown because this is not how I operate. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm not good at it. I don't say the right things. I don't handle it well. Even if I feel like I did okay, I always regret doing it in the first place. And I'm saying all this to Michael as we're walking back to the car. And I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, why do I, other people like me or us who are trying to be good, why do we always have to eat it? Why are we the ones that are always having to shut up and be the better person and do what's right and on and on and on? And that didn't even feel better. And so Michael said something really good, and his basic answer was, well, what's the alternative? You don't like how you feel this way, and you act out that way, and you don't feel any better. So think of all those people that are choosing to live their life and what their life must be like choosing to live that way. I have had a 24-hour period where I had 3 incidences, and the other 364 days of the year are not always, but are usually pretty great. So would I want to operate the other way and always say what I think, speak up, argue, get into confrontations, try to be right? Because I don't like how that feels. So, would I want it to be what I'm claiming that I want? Like, why do I always have to be quiet? Because really the ones that are acting out and yelling and all that are the ones that are doing that to me. They're unhappy. And so if I want to go down that road and live in an unhappy world, then it's right there for me. But, Michael pulled it back in and he was like, well, so you had a bad day. It's not the universe conspiring against you. It's not, anything that has to change? And do you want it to? And the answer is no. So the point of all of this is as follows. I have to believe that it was my energy that was pulling things toward me, because normally they're not there. So if they're not there, then what is pulling them toward me? You know what I mean? And these people are random. The only common denominator is me. Now, if I want to claim that these things were unfair or unjust, that's fine. But there is something that I was doing that was putting out these things. I swear. I swear. So, what I want you to think about, what I need to think about, what I want us to meditate on is the fact of when these things happen, consider them random. Don't hold on to them. He gave me my own advice back, like, these things aren't yours to pick up. Don't hold on to them. Let it go. And just consider the alternative, of what the alternative could be, if that's how you want to live your life in rage and anger and see the downside of everything, and always be ready to challenge everything. I don't want that. I don't want to live that life. So I took a deep breath and I finally started to get over it. And I am, like I said, I am human and these things happen. But really, take a moment and pause and look at yourself and look at how you're conducting yourself. Even if you're 100% right, is that how you want to be? I was right in a few of those situations. It didn't make me feel any better. It didn't. If anything, it was in the way. And I know you're supposed to, like, do no harm, but also take no shit. That is a very hard line to walk, and I think I would rather stick with mine of kindness, even on days when I don't feel like it, because here's the thing. People that have been given a certain type of gift or responsibility of being who they are, that want to help other people or give to other people, you never get a break. Take that on. Take that in. If you are the one in your family that loves everyone and wants to help everyone and brings everyone together, that will never stop. That is your role, self-imposed or not. So if you are trying to be a good person in the world, you don't get to choose when you get to be a good person. You just have to do it all the time. And it's hard, and you don't get a break. Even if you want one, you don't really get a break, because the work, and I failed. I'm going to straight up tell you right now, I failed. The work, anyone can be a good person on a great day when everything goes their way. So easy. What about on days when these things happen? Are you still a good person, or you buckle like I did and you throw that out the window for the sake of wanting to be right and feeling that you've had enough? And there's a place for that, but I don't think there's a place for me in that, because I want to be a good person even when people aren't good back to me. My responsibility is to be good. It's not theirs. And the minute that I change what my responsibility of being a good person to suit their agenda, I've already given away all of who I want to be. They've already taken it and they've won on a couple different levels. They've won in the actual argument, but they've also won at not allowing me to stay true to my character and who I want to be. So don't give that away. Don't give that away to someone else who doesn't deserve it. You kind of get defeated twice. This was a long, rambling thing, and it's cut down much more than how I originally was talking about it. But just think about that. Think about, going into the world, and notice when things are coming to you, good and bad. Roll that snowball back up the hill, and what is the start of it? What is it? And then maybe you can go back and work on that, because that's what I need to do. Do it.